Alright, welcome back to the channel. It's been a really long time since I've actually made a video. And so I created a series that I'm going to work on until FSA, just FSA Prep for 5th grade. Added some graphics, some stuff to the channel. So let me know what you think, any comments below, and let me know what I could do different, okay? First time recording on my MacBook, so the audio might be a little off. So if the audio is different, just let me know and we'll go from there. So today we're going to talk about understanding place value. And the first thing I kind of want you to introduce you guys to is the place value cubes. You've all seen them before. We know, we learned in probably primary grade, first, second, third grade, that this equals 1. If we have 10 of them, that equals a tens. And if we have 10, and so these are ones, these are tens. And if we have 10 tens, then that equals 100. And if we have 10 of the hundreds, then that's going to equal 1,000 block, a big single block like that. That would be 10 of them is 1,000, okay? But for right here, we're going to stick with the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. So the first question we're going to work on is, how is the value of 2 and 625 different from the value of 2 and 652? So first thing I want to do, and this is really basic, but I just want to go over this and cover it, is I want to model 625 using the block. So I need 6 tens, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So remember, this is 10. These are, oh, I'm sorry. I need 600 blocks. My mistake. So 4, 5, 6. So here's my 6 100 blocks. Then I'm going to need 5 tens. First, what number am I doing? 625. So I'll need 2 tens. And then I'll need 5 single cubes. So using my number blocks, I have 625, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and make a place value chart. I just wanted you to see the unit blocks, the place value blocks, so we can kind of understand it and conceptualize it, okay? So I'm going to move these off to the side, and we're going to be done with these until we start talking about decimals again. So remember, a 1, a tens, 100. 10 of these make a 10. 10 of these make 100. 10 100. 10 of the 100 blocks make 1,000. Let's clear these off our paper so we get to work now. Okay, so how is the value, and I'm going to read my question again because it's always good to read our question at least 3 times. How is the value of 2 and 625 different from the value of 2 and 652? So the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to be really simple, and I'm going to make a place value chart. So I already have my numbers written out. And I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be able to look at this and cover this and be good with it. But I just wanted to offer you a quick review. So I know that the 6, we'll start with the 5. I know the 5 is in the ones place. The 2 is in the tens place. And the 6 is in the hundreds place. And I'm going to do the same thing for 652, the number I'm comparing. Go ahead and box it up. So I have my 2 is in the ones place. My 5 is in the tens place. And my 6 is in the hundreds place. I want these all look the same, so there we go. Okay. So now I want to compare. So I know that the value, of 2 and 625 is 20. Or it's in the tens place, okay? And I also know the value of 2 and 652 is 2 because it's in the ones place. So I kind of answered the first part of the question, how I know the value. The second part of the question is I really want to look at is not just the value, but how does it compare? Well, I know that 20 is 10 times greater than 2. So the 2 in 625 is 10 times greater than the 2 and 652. So, sorry, somebody was trying to come in. That shows us the tens place. And that shows us how to compare with the tens to the ones. Okay? And the other thing, and this kind of highlights a thing about the place value chart that we need to remember, and it's super easy. And the same thing with the blocks. Every time I move up in place and I move to the left, so I go from ones to tens. My pen doesn't want to work. I go from 1 to 10, from the 1 place to the tens place, I multiply by 10. And then, so in order for me to go from 2 ones to 2 tens, I had to multiply that by 10. 2 times 10 is 20. Same thing with going from 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000. However you go up, whenever you move to the left in the place value chart, you multiply by 10. However, the inverse operation is multiplying is dividing. So let's say I wanted to go from the tens place to the ones place, I would divide by 10. Okay? Now, I have to have the same number here for this to work, but because we're comparing 2 in the 10 to 2 ones, we can either divide by 10 because it got smaller, or we can multiply by 10. So when we move to the left, we multiply by 10. When we move to the right, we divide by 10. Or in 5th grade, we could multiply by 1/10. Because we know that KFC, when we change a fraction, when we divide, it's divided by 10 is the same as multiplying by 1/10. Okay? So next thing I want to move on, because my goal is to keep these videos under 10 minutes, is I want to look at a decimal problem. So how is the value of 4 and 12 and 4/10 different from the value of 4 and 12 and 64/100ths? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make that place value chart again that we had. And I hope we're at the point where we don't need the place value chart, but this is just kind of that review. I want to go over this. So the 4 is in the tenths place. The 2 is in the ones place. And the 1 is in the tens place. And I want to do the same thing to 12 and 64/100ths. So the 4 is in the hundredths place. The 6 is in the tenths place. The 2 is in the ones place. And the 1 is in the tens place. So same thing as above. We want to see how they compare. How is the value of 4 and 12 and 4/10 different than the value of 4 and 12 and 64/100ths? So decimals work the same way. If our number is getting greater and we're moving to the left, we multiply by 10. So to go from the hundredths to the tenths column, that's multiplying by 10. Same thing as above. To go from the ones to the tenths, we divide by 10, or we multiply by 1/10. Remember, just covered it above. Divided by 10 and multiplying by 1/10 is the exact same thing. Because if we had 100 pieces of candy we wanted to share with 10 people, we could divide by 10 or we can multiply it by 1/10. Either way, each person is still getting 10 pieces of candy. So I hope this covers everything for you guys.